Evan Solomon is gone from the CBC. The former host of Power and Politics here on CBC News Network and The House on CBC Radio was fired last night after a report alleging he brokered art deals with people with whom he was involved as a journalist. James Murray takes us through the allegations.
Allegations that were first raised by Toronto Star investigative journalist Kevin Donlan, who said that after an investigation into Evan's private business affairs away from the CBC, that they had uncovered a sort of secret sideline in art dealership. Apparently, Evan Solomon had a long-standing relationship with a man who most Canadians would never have heard of, but is very well known in world art circles as an art collector, and it seems someone who is trying to unload some of his paintings. It seems a deal was struck for a commission, a 10% commission that was done in secret. If Evan Solomon, it seems, could introduce this art collector to some famous and influential people like Jim Balsillie, formerly of Research in Motion and BlackBerry, and Mark Carney, who was the governor of the Bank of Canada, now the governor of the Bank of England. Apparently, much of this went on without the CBC knowing anything about it until recently, it seems. We're hearing that the CBC only recently found out about this. Kevin Donlan and the Toronto Star came to the CBC this week with very specific allegations, and it only took about a day and a half before Evan Solomon was suspended and then let go from the CBC.
And in response to that shock firing last night, James, what kind of reaction are we hearing today?
Well, none of the people involved, Heather, despite many of them making their living doing broadcast interviews, are willing to do broadcast interviews today. The CBC has only issued a written statement. There was a statement yesterday that was emailed to employees from our editor-in-chief. For public notice, Chuck Thompson, our head of our CBC Media Relations, issued this written statement saying, based on information that's come to our attention, we've determined that some of Evan Solomon's activities were inconsistent with our conflict of interest and ethics policy, as well as our journalistic standards and practices. That's a written statement that was released from Chuck Thompson, the head of our CBC Media Relations. Evan Solomon, again, somebody who made his living the past 20 years doing broadcast interviews, apparently not giving them today, but has issued a written statement through a law firm saying, I did not view the art business as a conflict with my political journalism at the CBC and never intentionally used my position at the CBC to promote the business. I'm deeply sorry for the damage that my activities have done to the trust the CBC and its viewers and listeners have put in me, and he also writes that he has the utmost respect for the CBC and what it stands for. Mark Carney also giving a statement. He seems to have been caught up in all of this. Through the Bank of England, there was a statement released today saying that he has no ongoing or enduring relationship with Evan Solomon and that he does not comment on his own private affairs. Well, it is private affairs that has certainly gotten Evan Solomon's public job here at the CBC into jeopardy. He's gone from essentially having his face on the building to having no job here at all in a matter of hours, less than a matter of days, Heather.
James, thank you. James Murray in Toronto this morning. CBC News will be making an announcement about interim hosts for Power and Politics and for The House in coming days.